नमः पादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम हरे राम. Yes, so anyone remembers last session what we discussed? Anyone would like to share or summarize what we discussed in our last session? Yes. No one remembers. रात गई बात गई. Hmm? No one remembers what we discussed in the last session? Okay. So Krishna, we started with the
Yes.
third.
Yes, third verse. Third verse. लोकस्मिन् द्विविधनिष्ठा पूर्वप्रोक्त मानक ज्ञान योगेन संख्यानं कर्म योगेन योगिनाम. जब when Arjun asked question to Lord Krishna told to Arjun there are two types of man. One who is they are inclined to know the supreme Lord, and one is want to know by empirical formula, empirical theory analysis. There is that's why Krishna told him there are two types of men. One who is inclined to the self, to know the self. There is a Brahma again.
Yeah.
And then our work cannot be sacrificed. कभी live नहीं करना चाहिए. Work always वर्क करना चाहिए. एंड वो वर्क जो है वो वर्क का कोई हमें फॉल का ये नहीं करना चाहिए. सक्सेस अनसक्सेस उसकी नहीं होना चाहिए. ऑलवेज लॉर्ड कृष्ण का लॉर्ड के ऊपर सेक्रीफाइस होना चाहिए, ऑफर होना चाहिए.
Okay. So yes, we discussed some three verses, sixth verse, seventh verse, and eighth verse of chapter third of Bhagavad Gita. So initially Arjuna was
Yes.
expressing his confusion. Further, Krishna, he started clarifying his confusion what he was having by mentioning that one should not renounce the work. Even a person who is in renounced order of life, he has to maintain his body, he has to work. So like that Krishna was mentioning, and Krishna also was encouraging one thing, that one should not be a pretender. One should not be a pretender. He should not in the way cheat people. He should not disguise himself as a renunciant. And at back of the mind, his senses are always, his mind is always meditating upon the sense objects. So such person should not be there. One should not be a pretender. It's better to be a sweeper than to be a pretender. Like that Krishna is mentioning. So further Krishna has mentioned how one should work, perform his activities, and it is very important for one to work, because without working one cannot maintain his physical body. So here we can understand from this Krishna how he is encouraging the simple living, and simplicity is one of the divine quality, as we discussed earlier also. And this divine quality, simplicity, helps oneself to invoke the blessings of the Lord. Simplicity attracts the Lord's attention. So how one can attain this simplicity? One can attain or acquire this quality of simplicity just by chanting this Hare Krishna mantra. Especially when we want to have godly qualities, it is very, very important for us to have God in the center. Suppose if we want godly quality, but we don't want God, that is not possible. Just like suppose you want sunlight without sun, is it possible to have sunlight without sun?
No.
Is it possible? No,
No.
it is not possible. Someone may say, yes, it is possible. You turn on the light in the room, the lights are there. You turn on the light. It is very much possible. But the sunlight gives the warmth. It maintains the entire temperature of the earth, planet. If sun does not rise for a day or two, entire economy can be disturbed. For the nations together, entire economy can be disturbed. So sun plays a very vital role in our day-to-day life. And to get sunlight, it's very essential. Same way to get godly qualities, one should have God in the center. One should have Krishna in the center. Then it is very much possible to have godly qualities. And how one can be associate with Krishna on daily basis? By chanting his holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So today we are going to discuss next verses in the sequence, verse number 9. So this number 9 is one of the prominent verse, important verse of the Bhagavad Gita. And when I just went through this verse number 9, and few couple of verses in the sequence, 10th, 11th, 12th, like that. So these verses are so powerful. Entire Krishna consciousness, entire Bhagavad Gita essence can be understood through these verses. One can connect or relate entire Bhagavad Gita through these couple of verses. Krishna is giving very practical advice in these verses of Bhagavad Gita. So we'll try to finish this verse today only. So all of you please join to chant this shloka. Yagnartha karmano nyatra loko yam karma bandhana
Lokoyam karma bandhana
tadartham karma kaunteya
tadartham karma kaunteya
mukta sangha samachara.
Mukta
mukta
Sangha
sangha.
Yes, anyone would like to chant this shloka?
Jagartat karmanna loka karma bandhana tadattham karma kunta mukta sangha samachara.
Wonderful. Yes, anyone else?
Yajnarthat karmana.
Yes, please.
Yajnarthat karmano yanyatra loko yama karma bandhana tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara.
Wonderful. Yes, someone else?
Yagnarthat karmano netra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara.
Wonderful. Yes, someone else would like to chant?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yajnartha karmano nyatra loko yam karma bandhana tad artham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara.
Wonderful. Yes, someone else would like to chant?
Krishna Prabhuji. Yagnarthat karmano nitra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangam samachara.
Wonderful. Yes, someone else? Okay. Translation. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work binds one to this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way, you will always remain unattached and free from bondage. Very nice statement Krishna has made here. Anyways, we'll read purport and then we'll try to understand. Since one has to work even for the simple maintenance of the body, the prescribed duties for a particular social position and quality are so made that the purpose can be fulfilled. Yagna means Lord Vishnu. or sacrificial performances. All sacrificial performances also are meant for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. The Vedas enjoin Yagno ve Vishnuhu. In other words, the same purpose is served whether one performs prescribed yagnas or directly serves Lord Vishnu. Krishna consciousness is therefore performance of yagna as it is prescribed in this verse. The Varna Ashrama institution also aims at this for satisfying Lord Vishnu. Varna Ashramachara Vata Purushena Para Puman Vishnu Aradhyate. Vishnu Purana. Therefore, one has to work for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Any other work done in this material world will be a cause of bondage. For both good and evil work have their reactions, and any reaction binds the performer. Therefore, one has to work in Krishna consciousness to satisfy Krishna or Vishnu. And while performing such activities, one is in a liberated stage. This is a great art of doing work, and in the beginning this process requires very expert guidance. One should therefore act very diligently under the expert guidance of a devotee of Lord Krishna or under the direct guidance instruction of Lord Krishna himself, under whom Arjuna had the opportunity to work. Nothing should be performed for sense gratification, but everything should be done for the satisfaction of Krishna. This practice will not only save one from the reaction of work, but will also gradually elevate one to the transcendental service of the Lord, which alone can raise one to the kingdom of the God. So here, Krishna is mentioning Yagnartha Karmano Nitra. Yagna has to be performed. So what we understand by yagna? Anyone would like to share what do we understand by yagna? Yes.
Probably I can try. Yagna is the
Please.
prescribed duties.
Prescribed duties, okay. Anyone else?
Yagna means sacrificing, sacrificing something which is like earlier we used to sacrifice in the normal yagna. Now we are even in this chanting is also a yagna, because we are using it for Krishna. We are the Sankirtan yagna.
Okay. Yes. Anyone
offering
else?
Basically offering it to Krishna.
Okay. Wonderful. Yes. Anyone else would like to try? What is yagna?
There are different type of yagna which offer to Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu or Krishna. That is Nam Yagna, Hom Yagna, such type of yagna. When we perform this yagna, we concentrate our mind, and our mind also purified with yagna.
Okay. Yes. Anyone else? What is yagna?
Prabhuji, when we do any work, any prescribed work for the sake of Lord Krishna or Vishnu, without expecting any results, that is yagna.
Okay, wonderful. Yes, anyone else? Okay. So, to simplify or in simple words, how we can understand yagna? Any action which is meant for the pleasure of Vishnu or Krishna is known as yagna. Yagna is not something which we perform like sacrificial fire. There is a fire, we are putting obligations. There is a hota, all those are there, chanting of mantra is happening, and some obligations are offered in the fire. That is not that is also yagna, but that alone is not known as yagna. Yagna means any action, any work which is meant for the pleasure of the Lord is yagna. It can be as simple as cleaning the temple of the Lord is yagna. Offering flowers to the Lord is yagna. Offering water to the Lord's yagna. Offering fruits to the Lord is a yagna. Offering tulsi leaf to the Lord is a yagna. Offering arti to the Lord is a yagna. Offering our money to the Lord is a yagna. Eating prasadam of the Lord is a yagna. Chanting the holy name of the Lord is a yagna. So there are a lot of any action which we perform for the pleasure of the Lord is known as yagna. Now, Krishna is telling how work has to be done. As the chapter name title is Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means action. Karma means action or work. Yoga means in connection with Krishna. Until and unless action or work is not in connection with Krishna, it is not known as Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga itself means action or work has to be in connection with Krishna. So here Krishna is mentioning work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. If not done, if work is not done as a sacrifice or for the pleasure of the Lord, then what are the consequences of such work? Otherwise, work binds to this material world. If work is not performed for the satisfaction of the Lord, for the pleasure of the Lord, then work is going to bind us into this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction. And in that way, you will always remain unattached and free from bondage. So here, Krishna mood, if we try to understand, he is requesting Arjuna that you have to perform prescribed duties. What are his prescribed duties? He is a Kshatriya, Shati Trayate Iti Kshatriya. He has to protect the citizens against adharma. He has to lead his citizens in such a way that they are on the path of dharma. They are always protected. So, protecting dharma is going to please the Lord, because Lord comes to establish dharma, and someone who protects the dharma is going to satisfy the Lord. So, in that way, you will always remain unattached and free from bondage. Because Arjuna, he was not willing to fight. He was thinking this war is meant for some kingdom or some piece of land. But when Krishna is enlightening Arjuna, how that your duties is not just, this war is not just for a kingdom, it is to establish dharma, it is to protect dharma. Therefore you should fight, and this is what going to please me. So if you fight with that consciousness, that understanding, you will be free from all sort of bondage. This is what Krishna is assuring Arjuna. Krishna is assuring Arjuna. So this thing Krishna has mentioned in Bhagavad Gita repeatedly, various places. So to understand this thing, we will go back to second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that is verse number 49. In 47, Krishna is telling one has to perform his duty, one has right to perform his duty. We'll just go through that verse. Verse number, yes. We'll read from 47. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the result of your activities. Never be attached to not doing your activities. So here Krishna is telling, only thing which is there in your hand is to perform your prescribed duty. And what is the prescribed duty for the jiva? Because this jiva belongs to Krishna. Mameva amsha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. We all belongs to Krishna. First and foremost duty of a jiva is to follow the orders of Krishna, to abide by the orders of Krishna, to follow the instructions of Krishna, to serve Krishna. That is the first and foremost duty of a jiva. Now here, further, what Krishna is saying, perform your duty and abandon all attachment of success or failure. Such evenness of mind is called yoga. Next to this thing, very important thing Krishna is mentioning. O Dhananjaya, rid yourself of all fruitive activities by devotional service and surrender fully to that consciousness. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. So what happens now? We all have a right to perform our actions. We have a right to perform our work. Now, when we perform work or any action, it is very certain that there will be certain reaction or there will be certain result or fruit of that action. That is very much certain. So where problem comes is when that fruit comes, when that reaction comes, we want to enjoy that reaction or fruit by our own self. And when we want to enjoy that fruit or reaction of that work, we get implicated. We get implicated in karma bandhana. From there, problem starts. How? Suppose a person is working in a storefront, is working in some mall or some kind of store, shopping complex he is working, and that owner has told you have to take care of this mall or shopping complex or a storefront. You have to take care of all billings, all stocks, and you are the supervisor or manager of this entire store. So working for a long period of time, this person developed a understanding that this store is my store. Whatever is there in the store, it is mine. Whatever money is there in the store, it is mine. I can enjoy entire money and entire stuffs which are lying in the store. So what do you think? It is a good understanding? No. This is a criminal mentality. As per rules and regulations, he is not thinking in the right direction. He will get implicated if he does not give that whatever sales he is doing. If he does not give that to the owner, he will get implicated with the rules and regulation of the governments, and he will be behind the bars. So if he works honestly, month after month he will receive the salary from the owner to maintain himself. Same way, the fruit, fruit has to be offered to Krishna. It has to be offered to Krishna. Here, a man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad actions even in this life. So he is telling either good fruit or bad fruit. Either good fruit or a bad fruit, it has to be engaged in the service of the Lord. When somebody engages his fruits or reactions in the service of the Lord, he gets free from bondage. He gets free from bondage. Otherwise, such person is known as miser. Miser is one who has everything. Suppose a person is very rich, but he is hardly having food to eat. He is not spending sufficient money on the food to eat to maintain himself. He is living like a beggar. But he is a very rich person. Entire bank balance is full. Bank is full of money. So what we say to such person is miser. Same way, this human life is meant for what purpose? To get free from bondage. To get free from karma bandhana. That is the goal of human life. But if somebody wastes that human life in enjoying these fruits, some good fruits, bad fruits, what will happen? That person is known as Kripana, miser. So we should take this opportunity to utilize this human form of life to make spiritual advancement. Make spiritual advancement, which is very, very important. So one can simply develop that detachment. one can simply develop that detachment, just like that person who is working in the storefront. Whatever sales happens, he goes at the end of the day and offer it to the owner. Now, as a result, what happens? He gets his own salary. So he is also in peaceful condition. He is also in peaceful situation or position or condition. Just like a bank person, cashier, he is working. He is receiving lakhs of rupees a day. And if he thinks this money belongs to me, he will get implicated. He will get implicated. At the end, he has to give the entire money to the bank. The same way, because nothing belongs to us, this body itself does not belong to us. It has been given to us by the Lord. The air we breathe does not belong to us. Has been given by the Lord. The water we drink does not belong to us. Has been facilitated by the Lord Himself. The food that we eat does not belong to us. Again supplied by the Lord. Nature, that nature is working. Maya dakshina prakriti suyate characharam. Krishna is telling this nature is working under my direction. So from where all these things we are getting? We are getting all these things from the Lord Himself. So He is supplying all these things to us. So when we are in conscious, when we are having such consciousness that whatever is given by the Lord, and whatever result we are getting, it should be offered to the Lord. Not just by thought, but by actions. So what happens? One is free from bondage of this material world. So any such actions, when the result of such actions is offered to the Lord for His satisfaction, so one is unattached also, and he is free from bondage. He is free from bondage. So everything has to be utilized in the service of the Lord. If I speak, it should be utilized in the service of the Lord. If I walk, it should be utilized in the service of the Lord. When we work in that consciousness, or when we work on that level, that is known as yagna. Each and every action of our life will be sublime, and it will be simply a yagna for the pleasure of the Lord. Currently, if we see, our position is like a thief. A thief, when it takes away something or plunders something, it cannot be in peaceful position. It cannot be in peaceful position. Always he has some kind of fear, some kind of anxiety. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 5th chapter, Bhoktaram yagna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam yatva mam shantim prichati. I am the Bhokta. I am the enjoyer of all. I am the proprietor of all that exist. And third thing what Krishna is saying is, I am the friend, Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. I am the friend of all the living entities. I am the friend of all the living entities, he is saying. So as a friend, he is supplying us everything. But what we are doing, we are stealing away. So when we offer everything to Krishna, we can attain the real peace. And that is a process to become free from bondage. And one can please Krishna and go back to Godhead. Krishna is eagerly waiting for all of us. He is eagerly waiting that this jiva, when this person will return back to me. Krishna, it may look like that he is, by making such statements or by saying these things, or when laws of nature are working that way, it may look like he is compelling all of us to serve him. But it is not like that. Just like a doctor is treating a patient, he is trying to cure the patient disease, he is trying to cure the disease of the patient. So he is prescribing certain medicines, certain tonics, certain medicines, all that the doctor is prescribing to the patient. Now patient here may think that, oh, this doctor is prescribing all these things because he want to make more money, he want to make more business. Whereas doctor is only concerned about what? This patient should get cure. A genuine doctor is concerned about that. Same way, Krishna is giving all these statements so that we can get free from this bondage of birth, death, old age, disease, bondage from this material world, bondage from this anxiety, bondage from the freedom, fear. We can get free from all these things. That's what Krishna is eager after. That's why he is prescribing all these processes for all of us. He's prescribing all these things. Even to get free from the bondage or to get free from this material bondage, it is not possible without serving Krishna. Harim vinana mritam taranti. Without Hari, without serving Hari, Lord Krishna, one cannot get free from this death. One cannot get free from death. Death is sure. But one who wants to get free from the death or bondage of death, one has to serve Krishna. That is very important. And how one can get free? By serving Krishna, one can get free from such bondage. Now here, very nice point Prabhupada has mentioned. This is the great art of doing work, and in the beginning, this process requires very expert guidance. Therefore, act very diligently under the expert guidance of a devotee of Lord Krishna. So, why such things Prabhupada is saying? Why one need under expert guidance? Yes, anyone would like to share why we need expert guidance on this? To serve Krishna, why one need expert guidance? Please share.
First of all, for proper understanding of this subject.
Okay.
And then, if for example, if we get deviated from the path, then the devotee can bring us back on that path.
Okay. Wonderful. Yes. Anything else? Anyone else? Yes. Anyone else?
Prabhu, because I think we in this Kali Yuga are so deviated souls that we will make out a different meaning of the subject matter. So that's why, as expert guidance from a spiritual master is required to understand what exactly Prabhupada or Krishna wants to tell us. Because there are many translations of Gita, but Prabhupada has given us such a translation which we can use to apply in our lives.
Correct. Yes. Wonderful.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes. Yes.
So one is that Krishna's mercy we will be able to attract once we are there under a shelter of Guru. And Guru, on his part, he will be able to understand the current scenario in which we are into, and he will be able to guide us to understand the exact message of Krishna. In fact, Krishna has told this in chapter 2 also, in 2.7, when Arjun says that now I am your disciple and you are my Guru. Because once Guru is there, then he makes our path clear in terms of our understanding the real message.
Okay. So, as correctly mentioned, even though Shastras, they guide us but still one need a expert guidance of a guru and sadhu. These three things has to go parallelly. What is that? Guru, sadhu, shastra. Why? Because we are so conditioned, our mind is so conditioned, we will concoct in such a way, we'll misunderstand the entire statement what Shastras or Guru or Krishna is mentioning. That's why one has to take a guidance of a sadhu to implement those teachings into his life. What to do, what not to do, how to act, how not to act. When somebody performs under the guidance of a devotee, under the expert guidance of a devotee, one can easily cross over this material existence. One can easily cross over this material existence. And when one acts in that way, is always safe, because a devotee, he is acting selflessly. He has no personal interest that after performing such thing or something, he will get something. No, he has no some self-interest. He is acting selflessly. So whatever guidance he gives which is going to help the jiva. Just like a person who is drowning in the ocean or a water body, the person who is standing outside can understand his situation and can help that person very easily. Same way, because devotees, they are not attached to the material sense objects. When they guide or they help somebody, that is going to help oneself to make a spiritual advancement. That is going to help oneself make a spiritual advancement. Even though you may deal with the Maya on day-to-day basis, but if you are taking a guidance of a expert devotee or a bona fide spiritual master, you will always remain safe. Just like during early days of ISKCON, there were foreign disciples, Westerners, disciples of Prabhupada. Even a small doubt they used to go and ask Prabhupada. What does that mean? Once in 1966, September 12th, there was initiation ceremony was conducted. So before that, Prabhupada announced that initiation is going to happen and you all should take initiation. Some 3-4 disciples he told that you should take initiation and you should accept a spiritual master as good as God. So they all got bewildered, they all got confused. What is this Prabhupada is saying? Prabhupada told, I am a servant of the God, and now he is saying that you should serve me as good as God. So they got completely confused. That earlier Prabhupada was telling something else, now he is telling you should serve me as Krishna. So what he is telling is not something he is telling or something he is following. Like that, they were completely confused. So next day they went and asked Prabhupada with a lot of hesitation. Like this, yesterday you mentioned. So Prabhupada corrected and told that what I mentioned is you should serve me as good as God, not as God, as good as God. Suppose Krishna is there in front of you. So the way you serve Krishna, you should serve me. But you should not equate me with Krishna. You should not equate with me to Krishna. Then earlier, again after some time down the line, 8, 9 years, 10 years in the ISKCON, those few disciples, they were like, now they have understood everything. They didn't went and asked Prabhupada for clarifications. They misunderstood certain things, and by which blunder happened in their life. There was blunder. So one has to be always take guidance of a devotees when one takes the guidance of a devotee is always on a safer platform. Is always on the safer platform. Because we concoct, we may misinterpret what Krishna is saying. That's why we should take a guidance of a devotee. And when we do that, Krishna is always pleased, and he gives that empowerment. Actually, Krishna gives that empowerment. And Krishna is also assuring this thing in Bhagavad Gita. I'll share that verse. In the 18th chapter, he is mentioning very beautiful instruction. He is saying here in 18th chapter, text number 57. What he is saying? In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. Krishna, what he is saying? In all activities, just depend upon me. Just like a father guides a child. With that mood, Krishna is guiding all of us here. Just depend upon me. Work always under my protection. Krishna is telling, if you work, you are always under my protection. And in such devotional service, always be conscious of me. Next verse, if we read, very nice verse. Next verse also. Verse number 58. If you become conscious of me, then what is the result Krishna is going to tell here? If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. Mat chitta sarva durgani mat prasadat tarishyasi. Krishna is assuring here that if you become conscious of me and if you act in that way, what will happen? Even in this material life, all the obstacles you will easily overcome by my grace. Then further Krishna is mentioning, if you don't follow, what is the consequences that Krishna is going to mention? If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. See, here how Krishna is expressing his concern about all of us. He is telling, if you don't act the way I am guiding you, you will be lost. Just like a doctor, if patient does not listen to the doctor, what will happen? He has to lose his life. He may die. Same way Krishna is telling, if however you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego. What is false ego? I am a man, I am a woman, I am a Kshatriya, I am a Brahmana, I am an Indian, I am a American. When we act on that platform rather than acting on our real ego, what is our real ego? We are part and parcel of Krishna. Mame vamsha jeev loke jeeva bhutana bhuta pasad. So we are part and parcel of the Lord. When we act on that platform, in that consciousness, we are safe. Otherwise, we will be lost. Krishna is telling, if you don't hear to me, you will be lost. He is expressing his. It is like if we act in a fruitive mentality that I want to enjoy the result of my activities. Krishna is saying it is like a poison. Suppose a child is drinking the poison in front of a father, how much concerned the father would be? How much concerned he will be? So that concern Krishna is expressing here. Krishna is expressing here. And simply by satisfying or serving Krishna, it is not like somebody is going to lose anything. It is not like that. Let us see one small video. Very nice video. I'll share. So it is basically a snippet from Little Krishna. So we made this animation almost 10 to 15 years back. So very nice animation it is. So we'll just watch it for a while.
फल ले लो फल, वृंदावन के ताजे स्वादिष्ट फल। इन आमों की तो सुगंध बड़ी अद्भुत है कृष्णा।
क्या एक बोरी अन्न तुम्हारे सारे आमों के लिए पर्याप्त है?
बिल्कुल महाराज नंद, आप बड़े परोपकारी हैं।
कृष्णा को फल चाहिए।
ओ, रो मत नन्हे कृष्ण, मेरे फलों के लिए इतना ही पर्याप्त होगा। ये कैसे हो गया? ये अवश्य भगवान विष्णु का आशीर्वाद है।
परंतु वो विष्णु ने नहीं किया था। अब तुम समझ गई ना प्रिय यशोदा कि वो कृष्ण की लीला थी।
परंतु मेरी समझ में नहीं आता कि समूचा ब्रह्मांड मेरे कृष्णा के मुख में कैसे समा सकता है।
अपना मुंह खोल के तो दिखा शरारती। आपने देखा, वहाँ कुछ नहीं, केवल माटी है।
मुझे लगा ही था कि ये मेरी कल्पना थी। मेरी तो मति ही मारी गई है।
नहीं यशोदा, ये तुम्हारे पुत्र की लीला है। भूल गई? एक नवजात शिशु होकर भी उसने वो कर दिखाया जो बड़े बड़े महारथी नहीं कर सके।
So here, if we understand just by serving Krishna. So yes, I would like to ask somebody, please share your understanding on this. Yes, what you got from this, what you could understand from this pastime, please share.
So, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So, Krishna looks at our emotion, what kind of, the way we approach Krishna in terms of serving, and he reciprocates it multiple times.
Okay. Yes. Anyone else? Yes. Anyone else? Nobody understood anything?
Prabhuji, I can try.
Yeah,
So if we
please.
offer our fruits of actions to Krishna, it is not that we are giving up everything. Krishna will return everything in more abundance.
Okay. Yes. Anything else?
I think, Prabhuji, this very video signifies that even though Krishna had few like grains of the cereals, and then he offered it back to the vendor. So even if we give little bit, whatever we have, in that sense, we will be just starting our process of devotional service, like offering everything to him and then just forgetting about the fruits. But he will take care of that smallest contribution also. And then he will multiply it and then increase our hearts in such a way that whatever we have, then we will start offering. And then we will not be empty by ourselves at the end. We will be fulfilled by Krishna's love, and whatever we want in our life, even though they might not be fulfilled to the fullest extent, but we will be satisfied by the happiness we always have.
You got mute. Yes.
Yeah, Prabhuji, that's what I wanted to say.
Okay. Yes. Anyone else?
If we offer to Krishna, if we offer 100 rupees to Krishna, Krishna will give the 100 rupees also. Moreover, he will give from his side another 100 rupees also. 100 plus 100, 200 we will get.
Okay. Nice. Anyone else?
Yes,
What I
Prabhuji.
feel is, this is Garima Prabhu, that
Yes.
Krishna just looks at the bhava of the devotee.
Hmm.
He knows how much love you have for him, and whatever you give, he doesn't need anything. He has everything. He's the one who is giving to us everything. So whatever we offer, he just looks at the bhav only of the devotee, and yes, he gives means in abundance.
Wonderful.
Gives
Yes.
it back to the devotees.
Wonderful. Yes. Anyone else?
Yes, Prabhuji. This reminds me another excerpt from a shloka or some dharmic thing. जाकी रही भावना जैसी प्रभु मूरत तिन देखी वैसी. आप जिस भावना से किसी को डील करते हैं, उस बालक को, उस महिला को, फ्रूट बेचने वाली महिला को नहीं पता था कि वो भगवान है. यूजुअली ऐसा होता है, छोटे बच्चे को हम लेके भी जाते हैं बाजार में भी. I have seen it multiple times with my son. He was so cute, and whatever sweet shop we go in Canada also and in India as well, when I used to live there, they used to give him so many things for free, and it has been happening multiple times. So definitely you start thinking very great, but again it boils down to the same thing. It doesn't matter what quantity or what you give, it's the emotions and your wholeheartedness. निष्काम निष्पक्ष अगर आप गॉड की सर्विस करते हो, आप किसी की भी सर्विस करते हो, बिकॉज गॉड इज इन एवरीवन. इसलिए एक और भी मुझे चीज याद आ रही है कि साईं इस संसार में सबसे मिलिए धाय, ना जाने किस भेष में नारायण मिल जाए. सो हमें हर एक व्यक्ति को इस तरीके से ट्रीट करना चाहिए कि वो भगवान है, और हमारी भावनाएं बहुत शुद्ध होनी चाहिए. तो इट डजंट मैटर व्हाट वी गिव, हाउ मच वी गिव, और व्हाटएवर वी डू, whatever service we perform, God will give us back in abundance. But that should not be our aim, because we should not expect fruit. But from this video, that's all I understood. We should not care about that. Our work should be, free from all the selfishness, basically.
Yes,
and
wonderful.
it should be in accordance with the right thing. Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, anyone else?
Prabhuji, if we work for happiness of Krishna, he will return in manyfold.
Correct. Yes. Yes. Anyone else?
Prabhuji, as you said in the beginning, wherever sun is there, the entire area gets illuminated with sunlight. So if we are able to keep to have Lord Krishna in our heart, he will illuminate all our heart and mind, and remove all darkness, and gradually we can acquire godly habits.
Correct. Yes. Anyone else?
Not only towards Lord Krishna, but to every human being, or every living being.
Wonderful. Yes. Anyone else?
And this also reminds me about that scene where Draupadi offered just a seed of rice to Lord Krishna, and he said she has given everything. So that also is a kind of benchmark to me for justifying or for supporting same statement that I said, that no matter whatever you do, it is irrespective of the quantity or extent you do, it should be selfless, without expectation of fruit, whatever you have, and God will give you that return in abundance. Like whatever karma you are doing, you will get it, and if it is great, you'll get multifold. beyond your expectations.
Yes. So here now from this video or this pastime, what we can understand. First thing is, if you see how simple that lady was. She was very simple. And second thing was, she was very humble also. Third, she was very content also, very satisfied. She said to Nand Maharaj, yes, Nand Maharaj, you are very kind. You have given me more than sufficient. That is more than sufficient for my mangoes. Now, here seeing this thing, Krishna also developed, oh, I also want mangoes. Let me also go and get some grains, just like my father gave some grains. I'll also get mangoes in return. So when Krishna, he took the grains, while coming, because he was a child, the way he was walking, all the grains are getting falling from his hand. So at the end, very few grains he could have. And seeing that, oh, I brought full hand full of grains, but now I only have few grains in my hand, so I'll not get mango. Like that, Krishna, he was thinking. Whereas this fruit vendor, this lady, she being attracted by the beauty of the Lord, she is like, this is sufficient for me. This is sufficient for me. And in return, what she did, she is satisfied with the Lord, what he has given. The Lord, whatever he has given, she is satisfied by that. And in return, what she is doing, she gave as many mangoes as Krishna can hold in his hand. So what she is doing, she is serving Krishna, she is satisfying Krishna. Even though the deal is not proper deal, materially if we see, but she returned, in return she gave abundance of mango that Krishna could hold. And as soon as Krishna, he got pleased by the service of this fruit vendor, what happened? Entire bucket, that entire booty or that entire basket became full of gold. So how that happens? So one, we can understand this thing. When somebody serves Krishna, it is not like somebody is going to lose something. In other way, what happens when somebody serves Krishna? The internal potency of Krishna. Who is internal potency of Krishna? Srimati Radharani, Lakshmi Devi. She comes and sits or empowers the devotee who is desiring to serve Krishna or who is serving Krishna. Thousands and millions of Lakshmis are engaged in the service of Krishna. Lakshmi Sahasra Satasam Devyamanam. Thousands and lakhs of Lakshmis are engaged in the service of Krishna. Krishna does not need anything from us. He does not want anything from us. He is not expecting. But when we, out of love, offer anything to Krishna, Krishna gets pleased. And what happens? The Lakshmi who is engaged in Krishna's service empowers the devotees in such a way that devotee can serve Krishna much more better or better than before. He can serve Krishna even better than before. So the devotee, when he serves Krishna, he is not losing anything. He is always in gain. He is just like if you water the plant, how you water the plant? You are not going to, water each and every leaf of the plant separately. What you do? You water the plant in the root. When you water the plant in the root, all the leaves, all the twigs, entire branch, trunk, everything get nourishes or everything get satisfied. Same way when we serve Krishna, when we offer our service, sevas to the Lord, what happened? Entire existence, all the jivas, all the bhutas, All the living entities get satisfied just by serving Krishna. Just by serving Krishna. Here there are two comments. Krishna will reciprocate even if we serve him unknowingly. Yes. When we serve Krishna, even unknowingly, we serve him. He reciprocates. I also remember background of this story. When she came to the Braj Bhumi, she heard a lot about Krishna. So she was so longing to see Krishna. When she finally gave fruits to the Lord, she then got a whole bunch of jewel in her basket. When she got to know about that, she was disheartened that why Krishna gave her material pleasures. She then left her body in the memory of Krishna, as her love was greater than any material requirements. Yes, wonderful. Yes, actually, she heard about Krishna, that there is a sweet boy, Krishna, who has appeared in the palace of Nand Maharaj. So our bhakti also starts from where? Shravanam, from hearing. And when we start hearing about Krishna, we develop attachment for Krishna. When we start hearing the holy name of the Lord, when we chant and hear attentively, our attachment for the Lord develops. When we hear about Hari Katha, about Krishna, our attachment for Krishna develops. And when that attachment for Krishna develops, just like Rukmani Devi, she heard about Krishna from Narad Muni. She was a princess and she heard about Krishna. She has not seen Krishna, but she heard about Krishna from Narad Muni, and she used to engage herself in the service of Narad Muni. So what happened? Krishna came to rescue Rukmani, and Krishna married Rukmani. So same way when we serve Krishna, so Krishna, he not only protects, Krishna not only he empowers us, he arranges everything. Just by desiring, Krishna arranges. And in Bhagavad Gita, Sanjay is also saying the same thing. What he is saying? He is saying in the end of Yat Yogeshwar Krishna. Yes. Yat Yogeshwaro Krishna, Yat Partho Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shriya Vijayo Bhutir Dhruvam Nitir Matir Mama. Wherever there is a Krishna, the master of mystics, and wherever there is a Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, Shriya, Vijaya, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion. So when somebody serves Krishna, so Lakshmi or Radharani, she empowers that living entity or that jiva to serve more and more. They provide all kind of resources by which we can serve more and more, just like Sudama. Sudama, when he was a poor Brahmana, he was not having sufficient food to even maintain himself, his family. And his wife and children, they became very lean, very thin, very weak. So his wife, as wives are, very concerned about their children and husband. So she also got concerned about her husband, that he has become so lean, thin. What will happen to the children and my husband? So she told Sudama, or requested Sudama, that your friend Krishna, he is the master, he is the Brahmana Hitai. He is always well-wisher to the Brahmanas, and he is your friend. If you go and visit him, he will give you everything to maintain. He will give you everything. So why don't you visit him? So like that, Sudama's wife, she asked Sudama to visit Krishna. But Sudama, what he is thinking? At the back of his mind, what he is going? That if I visit the Lord, I'll get opportunity to have his darshan. He's not thinking I'll get a material opulence, material things to maintain my family. He's not at all concerned about that. What he is thinking, if I visit the Lord, I'll get the opportunity to have his darshan. So he made his mind, okay, let me go and visit the Lord, have his darshan. And when he visited the Lord, he carried 3 morsels of rice. And this is what Sudama had. So as somebody mentioned, when somebody serves Krishna in his capacity, so Krishna reciprocates accordingly. So when Sudama gave 3 morsels of rice to Krishna, so Krishna in return, what he was ready to give, he was ready to give 3 lokas, all 3 planetary systems he was ready to give to Sudama, because he was thinking in what way? That Sudama is having all in all these 3 morsels of rice, and he gave everything to me, and I have these 3 planetaries, these 3 lokas, I have to give all these 3 lokas. So Krishna, how his mathematics calculation goes, one cannot even conceive. So when Krishna, he had 1 morsel of rice, and remaining 2 morsels, Rukmani Devi, she took away. But in return, what she did? She went and constructed a palace as good as Krishna's palace, because Sudama has served Krishna. So she empowered Sudama in such a way no one can match the opulence of Sudama. Entire existence. No one can match the opulence of Sudama. That is the power of this devotion. When somebody serves Krishna sincerely, one cannot even conceive the reciprocation one can have from the Lord. Just like Kardama Muni, he was serving the Lord, meditating upon the Lord, he was performing Ashtanga Yoga. When time came, he just thought of a palace, and an aerial mansion was created. And he was himself surprised how such thing can happen. He was surprised, very much shocked. This description comes in Srimad Bhagavatam, very beautiful pastime. Very beautiful pastime. So Lord, the way he reciprocates, or the way he empowers his devotees, is unconceivable. One cannot simply conceive the potency of, or the reciprocation of the Lord. So we have got this opportunity, all of us, to engage in Krishna's service, to hear about Krishna. So we should utilize it. We should utilize our human life, and we should take this opportunity. So anyone has any questions or anything to share or ask, please feel free to share, ask.
Already, Krishna already said, spoken in chapter number 9, verse number 22, Ananas Chintanto Mang Jejana Prajapasate, Tesan Nityavi Juktanam Jagaksemang Bahama Aham.
Yes. So same thing Krishna is mentioning many times. One statement is saying in different ways, just like this verse number 9 of 3rd chapter, Yagnata Karmano Nitra Loko Yam Karma Bandhanata Tadartham Karma Kontya Mukta Sangha Samacharam. Same verse, if you see 18th chapter, 57th or 58th verse, Krishna is saying almost same thing. Different ways he is saying the same message in different ways. Yes, any other question? Actually, this verse is very long. A lot of things one can understand from this verse itself. We could not start even 10th verse. Next time we will take up 10th verse. So yes, anyone has any other question or anything?
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yes, please.
So, so I understand the bhava, but the practically, how can we offer everything to Krishna? Because if we do it mentally, we still are the controller of the fruits of the action. And unless we part away with the fruits of the action, and if we are mentally offering it, like the controllership is still there, and because the sense of enjoyment also is coming from Krishna. Like I have heard that whatever qualities or whatever even the sense of enjoyment also is coming from Krishna. So we tend to enjoy that controllership also, or the senses from that. And so I'm a little bit confused here. Like, how do we offer everything to Krishna?
So basically, one can serve Krishna in three ways: Manasa, Vacha, and Karma. Manasa is by mentally, thinking and serving Krishna. Vacha means by words we serve Krishna. And third is by karma, by actions. So this serving Krishna by actions is something which is very important. And this alone can purify our existence. One first thing what happens till come in our mind, yes, I have to serve Krishna. I have to serve Krishna. Then from thoughts, from mind, it will transfer into our vacha or in our words. Then further, it will take a form of action. So this action is something which is very important. When we perform any action in service of the Lord, in practical way we serve the Lord, purifies our existence, and one can derive the highest benefit. Right? So how to do that? For that, one need expert guidance of a devotee. Just like Prabhupada, he says that one should chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra. 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra means we are offering our prana, our time to Krishna. 2 hours of our day we are offering to Krishna. Then Prabhupada says one should offer 50% of, suppose he is working, 50% of what he earns, one should offer to Krishna. So when somebody offers that, what he is doing, his artha is also getting offered. Prabhupada says one should read these books, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. So what is happening? He is engaging his intelligence in the service of the Lord. So different ways one is serving when one follows the instruction of Srila Prabhupada. So we can also, but yes, initial stage, it is not possible for all of us to follow all the things up to that standard. But we should try to do in our capacity, we should try our best. And we should aspire to even make progress. Just like Sudama, in his capacity, there was only 3 morsels of rice he could offer. But suppose same thing Yudhishthir Maharaj does, he will be known as a Kripana. Yudhishthir Maharaj has to offer Chappan Bhog, he offers grand feast for the Lord in the vessels of gold, which is made of gold plates, made of gold and all those things. He is offering such feast to the Lord. So he is offering in his capacity. So one has to offer in his capacity. When one offers any seva to the Lord, he is always protected. So that is the best way one should do in his capacity. One should serve best of his capacity. That is what Krishna sees. Krishna basically sees what we are holding. Just like suppose for an example, a person is there, he suppose earns 1 lakh per month and he gives away 10,000 to Krishna in Krishna service. But there is a one person who is earning 10 lakh per month. He is also giving 10,000 to the Lord in his service. So what Krishna sees? Krishna sees this person has given me 10%, whereas this person has given only 1%. So still this person is holding 99% and this person is just holding 90%. So he is more advanced. The one who is offering 10,000 and he has made 10% of his offering. So Krishna's calculation works in that way. It is not like he'll see materially. No, he'll see what you have and what you are doing. What you have, what you are doing. Right? Hope this helps you.
Thank you, Prabhu. This verse was very good and you explained it very good. Thank you.
Yes. Any other questions?
Prabhu, I have a question.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. So I just wanted to understand the very verse 2.50, the reference to which you provided. So I understand that this we have to offer everything, the fruits of everything to Krishna. So how do we, sorry, so how do we train our brains that even if there is a bad fruit, like I failed in an exam, I don't get the response I want from my parents and that like that, whatever we have in our respective life. So the bad fruits, I mean, why? How can we offer that too? Because without getting unaffected. Because obviously that in our conditioned soul mindset, we always have that mentality that why did it happen? It should not have been the case. So
Correct. Wonderful, wonderful question. So, what happens in devotees' life? How they take up? Devotees are very introspective in nature. Suppose anything which is averse to them, how they will take up is they will think that I deserved even much worse situation than what I am going through. I deserve even much worse situation what I am going through. But Krishna has mercifully saved me or taken me out of that situation. And one more thing, devotees, how they see. They see that here is the opportunity for me to learn something. Krishna wants to make me understand or to learn something so that I can make advancement. Just like Arjuna. Arjuna went all these turmoil in his mind. For what purpose? So that he can understand this Bhagavad Gita, this message of Bhagavad Gita can be given to the entire world. So even though Arjuna went through all this turmoil in his mind, it was for a good reason. Just like Prabhupada. Prabhupada was running a pharmacy business. He was having pharmacy business. So his entire setup got burnt. Entire setup got burned. So later on, when he left his home and entire thing, so later on, what he is thinking, what way he is thinking, Krishna has mercifully taken away all my possessions so that I can devote my life in the service of the Lord. He took aversions or situations which are against to him in that way. Sometimes in our life, we also face such situations. So devotee thinks in a way that here is an opportunity for me to purify. Krishna wants to burn my karma. Krishna wants to make me understand or learn something. Many times it happens, we go through lot of bad time, devotees, but we take in that spirit, and along with that we offer our prayer to the Lord to help us to understand what He wants to make us understand. We pray to the Lord that I'm going through such and such situation. Please help me to understand how I can get out of such a situation, how I can even be situated in such situation, how I can serve you. So devotees, when they offer such prayers to the Lord, when they humbly approach the Lord in such a way, Krishna, He reciprocates. He helps us to understand. So when this bad reactions comes in our life, sometimes devotees like Kunti Maharani, what she is saying, that whenever there was difficulty in our life, you were always there. Now everything is good in our life. We have got the kingdom back. Now you are leaving us away. You are leaving us. So I want more and more trouble in my life. This is what Kunti Maharani is praying. So devotees, even though bad reaction or bad time or bad fruits comes in their life, they take it as an opportunity to serve the Lord, to get purified, to learn something new. And that all comes by practice again. And that comes by taking guidance of devotees. when we seek the guidance of the devotees, it helps us to, give newer aspect or newer perspective of our life. Just like winters, now winters are coming in Vrindavan, in Delhi, winters are coming. Now suppose I have winter clothes, but it is there in my cupboard. If I don't use, so what will happen? I will caught a cold. I will suffer from cold. Right? To save myself, I have to use those winter clothes. Same way, this philosophy of Krishna consciousness, what is that? Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, when we use to lead our life, we will always be protected. Just like we use the clothes to protect ourselves, same way we have to use this knowledge what Krishna and Prabhupada has given to protect ourselves and to make advancement. Hope this helps you.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Yes. Any other question or anything? Okay, so we'll end here. Already it's very late. So next time we'll try to do chanting. Okay. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Srimad
Hare
Bhagavad
Krishna,
Gita.
Hare
Prabhuji.
Hare
Krishna, Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Srimad Bhagavad
Krishna.
Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
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 Jai.